All right, are you considering moving to Austin, Texas, or possibly one of the suburbs like Dripping Springs, which is where I am right now, guys? You found the right YouTube channel, you found the right video. In this video, I'm gonna tell you the top 10 reasons that you might wanna consider moving to Dripping Springs, Texas. Guys, I'm Pesek. I'm a broker associate, which is a fancy word for a realtor with a lot more education than just a normal realtor. And I live in Dripping Springs, Texas. I love this place. And the whole point behind these videos and behind this YouTube channel is when you're considering moving to the Austin area, and especially Dripping Springs, I want you to reach out to me. I am really good at my job, and that's the reason you're watching this video right now. So right now, guys, I am in Memorial Park, which is right downtown Dripping Springs. That's what the flags are behind me. This is kind of one of the first things you see when you roll into downtown Dripping Springs. But like I mentioned, this video is all about why you might want to consider Dripping Springs when you're thinking about moving to the Austin area. Let's get on to the first reason why this might be a good pick for you as your new hometown. All right, number one reason you might want to consider Dripping Springs as your new home. To me, it's one of the top suburbs of Austin, and one of the reasons it is because the proximity to Austin. I'm standing right on 290 here, downtown Dripping Springs. It's about 5 o'clock traffic. That's why there's a lot of road noise and stuff like that. But downtown Austin is only about 25 to 30 minutes away, and that commute is going to get even shorter when they finish the construction they're doing on 290 right now between Austin and Dripping Springs. You've only got about a year and a half of that construction left, maybe two, because TxDOT always runs a little bit behind. But that commute is going to get even closer or shorter from Dripping Springs when that's done. So not only are you 25 minutes to downtown Austin, but you're also about 25 to 30 minutes from Austin Bertram International Airport, which is the huge airport in this area and has flights going everywhere in the world, thus the name International Airport. You probably know that. But anyway, you're only about 25 to 30 minutes from the airport too. So if you commute a lot for a living, or if you like to travel, Dripping Springs not only has the ability to get in and out of Austin for the things that you may need there, like a job, or if you want to go in for nightlife or whatever, but you also have the ability to get in and out of the airport very easily, as long as you're not traveling at peak travel times. Nobody wants to be on 290, Mopac, or 35 during peak travel times. But anyway, that is the number one reason why you might want to consider making Dripping Springs your choice when you're moving to Central Texas. Is it's really just outside of Austin, and it's really easy to get to the airport. All right, let's go take a look at number two. All right, moving right along in our top 10 reasons that you might want to consider Dripping Springs, Texas to live in is our second reason. And let's be honest, this is the reason most people move here, at least most people that I talk to, and that is the school system in Dripping Springs. Very highly rated school system. A lot of academic awards, a lot of athletic achievement here as well. And when I say the vast majority of people that are moving here are coming for schools, we get a lot of younger families that are moving here. And as a result of that, we get a lot of empty nesters moving here as well. The younger families are moving because they want their kids in the schools. Like, let's see if I can get this behind me. So I'm at the high school right now. I'm not sure if you can see that up there. Yeah, you might be able to see that up there, Dripping Springs High School. So the families are trying to get their kids into these schools, and then we have a lot of grandparents that are also moving here to be closer to their grandkids. So it's a little bit of a both thing, right? We're getting the younger families, we're also getting a little bit of an older demographic here as well. When I say that schools are highly rated, you can look on niche.com and greatschools.org and stuff like that. And I take some of those ratings with a grain of salt, because there's always going to be disgruntled parents. But overall, the school district here is a very highly rated school district. They do perform very well on TEA tests and things like that. And again, they are, from academics and athletics, theater, band, everything. There's a lot of really high achievement that's going on. Size-wise, the school's really big. Dripping Springs High School is a 6A high school, which is the largest school size in the district. We are in talks right now about what to do if we're going to continue to grow the size of the school just as it is, or are we going to split into two high schools? I think eventually there's going to be two high schools. I believe it's going to have to be two high schools. And as I'm here, I'll give you a real quick photo of right behind me some of this athletic achievement here at the high school. Volleyball, football, baseball, basketball, all doing really, really good things here. But as the area continues to grow, we're going to have additional schools. So that's why I think eventually there's going to be an additional high school in Dripping Springs. But that's the second reason why you might want to consider moving to Dripping Springs. Very, very highly rated schools. And, you know, even if you don't have kids or not planning on having kids, one of the things that highly rated schools does is they tend to drive up the values of property. So again, Dripping Springs is not necessarily a cheap place to live, but if you're looking for something where your value is protected, you may want to look at a spot that's got highly rated schools like Dripping Springs. So there you go. Dripping Springs ISD, number 2 reason why you might want to move to Dripping Springs. Let's go take a look at the third reason. All right, the number 3 reason that you may want to consider moving to Dripping Springs, Texas. And I'm right here on Mercer Street, walking by the original Dripping Springs. It's named after an actual springs down here downtown. Can't really see it. It's behind a bunch of trees and stuff over here to my right. But when you walk by the springs and just up past, there's Butler Cabin. It's an old log cabin over here. You realize that at one point, Dripping Springs was kind of the Texas frontier, if you will. There wasn't anything out here. It's outside of Austin. And Dripping Springs is a part of leading the fight in what's called dark skies. Cindy Luongo Cassidy is a resident out here. Actually, she's in Driftwood, and Dripping Springs was the original dark skies community. And if you look up Dark Skies International, you'll realize what dark skies communities are. Basically, the idea is that we want to keep as much light out of the night sky as is humanly possible. How do you do that? Well, you know, you do, if you can see this light behind me up here, you can tell that light faces down. There's not a light bulb that's sticking out below, and it doesn't have a globe all the way around it like you typically see with a lot of light bulbs. So the biggest thing about dark skies is trying to keep light pollution out of the sky. And as you know, when you look back into Austin, like I'm between Austin and Dripping Springs, and there's a visible difference when I look back towards Austin at night versus looking out towards the hill country. Now, it's not perfectly dark out here, but the idea behind being a dark skies community is that we want to dial back time a little bit and pull the light pollution out of the sky as much as humanly possible. By the way, I'm here in front of the sign or the monument for the original Dripping Springs out here, just in case you wanted to know. No, it is not public. It's pretty hard to get access to it. But anyway, the idea behind Dark Skies Community, like I said, is to get the skies at night to be dark. So when you're out here, you're out in your yard and you're moving out here onto a little piece of property, because that's one of the reasons people move out here also, is they want a little elbow room. But you can actually sit outside at night and see lightning bugs. You can sit outside at night with your kids and look at the constellations and see, you know, satellites come by, and watch when we have meteor showers and stuff like that. So number 3 for why you might want to move to Dripping Springs is that we are actually actively fighting, and I've got an active part in this, and we all do really, but we're actively fighting to keep our night skies dark. And Dripping Springs, again, is the original dark sky community out here. Now, a lot of the other hill country towns are joining, joining forces in this. Wimberley, Blanco, Marble Falls, Johnson City, Fredericksburg, they're all getting in on the dark skies bandwagon. So everything on the west side of Austin, we are trying to keep dark, keep that light pollution out. And again, that's another major reason why I love Dripping Springs and why it's one of the top reasons to move to this area. If you like stars and you like migration of birds, you're going to like the fact that it's a dark skies community. All right, let's go take a look at number 4. All right, 4th reason you might consider moving to Dripping Springs, Texas is Dripping Springs, after all, is still a small town, and it has that small town charm and that small town feel. I'm walking down Mercer Street right now, and it is surrounded by mom and pop stores. I mean, Stars on Mercer, Acapon, you've got Mazama, Juniper Tree Market, right here is Delphine. I can't even name all the boutiques that are down here. So when you're walking around down here, you get that feel of small town USA. You know, they got the signs up, shop, sip, and stroll. If you need bigger stuff, if you need those big city things, right, you can go to Belterra Village Shopping Center. You've got a lot of different things there. We're 30 minutes from downtown Austin. You've got all the shopping one could ever need in Austin. But if on day-to-day life you want something that's just a little bit different than living in Austin, that's what Dripping Springs. It still gives you that small town feel. I was crossing the street a while ago. Somebody stopped to say hi. People wave for no reason, not even necessarily because they know who you are. They'll just wave at you when they're driving by, and it's not a weird thing here. It's actually expected, and that's what being in small town Texas is all about. Again, you don't have to take part in the small town. You don't have to go to Founders Day and things like that if you don't want to, but that's a part of what makes Dripping Springs Dripping Springs. It's the people that are all, going to support each other's kids at their sporting events or at their theater. It's walking into Time and Dough over here and seeing Fabian and Jessica and telling them hi and having them know who you are. So if you're looking for a little bit of that Americana small town feel, Dripping Springs could be a really, really good option for you. So number 4, why you might want to move to Dripping Springs, small town feel. All right, number 5 reason why you might want to consider moving to Dripping Springs, Texas. And for this, I'm outside of one of my favorite breweries out here, Fitzhugh Brewing off of Fitzhugh Road. This area is called the Fitzhugh District for a reason. There's a lot of breweries and wineries up and down this road. But the number 5 reason to move to Dripping Springs, Texas is the craft wine and beer scene. 13 breweries out here. I don't even know how many wineries are out just in the area west of Austin out to Fredericksburg at this point. But if you are a fan of breweries, wineries, distilleries, Dripping Springs has got something for absolutely every set of taste buds in the alcohol industry. And if you like mocktails, you don't have to necessarily drink alcohol out here, because a majority of the breweries now are carrying alcohol-free seltzers and hop waters. And if you go out to some of the bars and distilleries, they're doing mocktails as well. So even just getting out on a Saturday, you can spend all day either in alcohol or out of alcohol. But the craft and wine scene here is awesome. Something that we absolutely love about living in this area. All right, before we move on to number 6, I need to remind you, if you're still with me through this, this might be the station for you on YouTube. I say station all the time, the channel. It might be worth your while to click that little bell notification and subscribe to my channel, because this is the type of content that I absolutely love, bringing you local content, not only houses, but also just things where if you're living in this area, you're going to need to know about places like Fitzhugh Brewing. All right, let's get on to number 6. All right, the number 6 reason you may want to make Dripping Springs, Texas your new home. If you look behind me, this is kind of what the hill country is known for. Massive, massive views, especially if you're in certain locations. And just all of the greenery. I'll talk again in a little bit about how important nature is out here for a variety of different reasons. But one of the reasons that I love being in Dripping Springs so much, and it's repeated over and over when I'm talking to people, is the ability to get outdoors. So the number 6 reason for the reasons you may want to consider Dripping Springs is outdoor recreation. Now, again, I'll talk about this in a little bit in one of the next videos, but I am out in Headwaters, a great master plan community, an amazing master plan community. And there are, I think the last count I saw was like 12 miles of nature trails, hike and bike trails in Headwaters. And in the master plan communities out here, that's normal because people want to be out in nature. They want to be outdoors in the Texas Hill Country. Obviously, there's certain times a year when it's a little bit tougher to do that. One of those times is coming up real quick now. I don't want to be outdoors in July or August unless I'm at a lake. And some of the outdoor things that are available to us here, okay, hike and bike trails all around Dripping Springs. You've got a couple of creeks. Onion Creek and Barton Creek are really close by, and you can get on those creeks in a few different locations out here. If you're a golfer, there are a ton of great golf courses within an hour of Dripping Springs, Texas. Now, that may be a little bit far. Like if you're in downtown Austin, yeah, they're within 20 minutes, but hey, you don't get to live in places like this. So you've got a bunch of golf within an hour. You have state parks county parks. Reimers Ranch is a Travis County park. Charo Ranch Park, I believe, is a city park here on the south side of Dripping Springs. Blanco State Park. Enchanted Rock is about an hour and a half over in Fredericksburg. So you've got a ton of outdoor recreation ability in parks around. And then on top of that, you have water all around you. Colorado River flows just to the north of us through downtown Austin. The Guadalupe River is down through New Braunfels. You also have the San Marcos River through San Marcos. And most of those rivers, with the exception of the San Marcos and the Comal, have lakes attached to them. So you have all kinds of water activity within an hour as well. Town Lake, Lake Austin, Lake Travis, Lake Buchanan, Lake Marble Falls. I'm missing Inks Lake. Those are all on the Colorado. And then you also have Canyon Lake down here just south of us within an hour on the Guadalupe River. So if you're a water enthusiast, there's a ton of stuff to do out here as well. So from the perspective, and the reason it is number 6 again, is there are so many outdoor recreational activities out here. I mean, heck, we even have great rock climbing at Reimers Park, Reimers Ranch Park, which I mentioned a while ago, which is a Travis County park. There's great rock climbing out there. There is mountain biking all over the place. There are a ton of off-road parks for Jeeps and Jeeping and things like that. There is a never-ending amount of things to do outdoors within an hour of Dripping Springs, Texas. And again, you're not living in a metro area trying to get out. You're living in nature every day, whether you're in a master plan community like Headwaters or Calaterra or Belterra, that you're surrounded by all the hike and bike trails and the set-aside parkland. But also, like me, I live on 5 acres. So again, I'm surrounded by nature every day. And that's what makes Dripping Springs freaking amazing to me, is just all the nature and outdoor recreation. So that's 6, guys. Let's go take a look at number 7 in my list of the top 10 reasons you might want to consider Dripping Springs. All right, the number 9 reason I think that Dripping Springs would be a great place to consider if you're moving to the Austin area is that it's a growing community. This isn't a dead community, something that's just kind of stagnant. And I've mentioned it in a couple of the other points, and I'm going to talk about it again in number 10 when we get there in a little bit. But you've got rooftops, houses being built by the dozens, if not hundreds. This slowed down a little bit. During COVID, it was absolutely off the charts. Everybody wanted to be here. It slowed down a little bit, but there are still a lot of houses that are being built. And there's other things that are being built also. I mean, I'm here in Belterra Village, which is a great little shopping area on the edge of Dripping Springs. Actually, this is technically considered Austin by zip code, but it is Dripping Springs ISD. So I still consider this Dripping Springs, as do most people. But Belterra Village, you've got a lot of shops for restaurants, and this is an Ace Hardware, and behind me over here is Evo, which is a giant movie theater and arcade. So you just have a lot of things here that are being built as a part of this growing community. Now, what does being a part of a growing community actually mean for you as somebody who's living here? Okay, well, you're coming in right in the middle of what's going to be a giant boom in this area over the next, we'll call it the next 10 or 11 years. They're predicting the population of Dripping Springs to double. Okay, well, what's that going to do? It's going to make everything a lot more congested. That's true. There's also going to be new roads built and things like that. But if you look at your house from a long-term investment standpoint, let's say you're moving here because your kids or grandkids are going to be here for the next 10 or 15 years. Okay, well, getting in now at a price point now versus what it's going to look like after all this growth continues to happen, that's the thing that the American dream and real estate dreams are made of, because then when you're ready to move or your kids inherit your property, you've got that real estate, we'll call it a nest egg, that you're going to be able to pass on to that next generation. So there's other benefits beyond that if you're moving to a growing community versus a stagnant community. I mean, you're not going to get tired of the 1 or 2 things that you have to eat. I mean, let's be honest, the small town I grew up in, there's 2 or 3 restaurants there, and after a while you really want to go somewhere else to eat. I mean, yeah, you can go to Austin and eat, but because Dripping Springs is constantly adding new restaurants and stuff like that, there's always something new to try. You have your staples, you have your things that are close by, like here, Belterra, the community is right here. So, I mean, you can walk to these restaurants, and there's probably 10 or 12 of them in here, I think I counted. you can walk or ride your golf cart here. And so you can always be eating different things, or if there's picky people in your family, you always have opportunities for other stuff to try out and other restaurants and other, there's a Smoothie King coming in here and things like that. So when the community's growing, when there's additional rooftops going in, you're going to have new commercial and new salons and stuff like that. So when you're a part of that growing community like Dripping Springs, you're never really going to get tired of the things that continue to come in. You might get tired of the number of people that are coming in. You might get tired of the traffic and the congestion and stuff like that. But when you have new and exciting things to go try, that really never gets old. So number 9, Dripping Springs is a growing community. Let's go to number 10 and figure out what we have to see next. All right, number 8 reason why you may want to make Dripping Springs your home. Well, my top 10 reasons of why moving to Dripping Springs could be a good idea is master plan communities. Maybe you don't want the reason that a lot of people live out here, which is trying to get elbow room and get some acreage and stuff like that. You might still want a little bit more of a suburban lifestyle. You just want access to, the small town feel and having the things to do for your kids in the schools and all of that stuff. Well, number 8 are the master plan communities that are out here, and we have got some of the most amazing master plan communities I have ever seen, and the most beautiful. A couple of things about this area: because we're a recharge zone for so many aquifers in the ground, there's a lot of rules that are in place about what you can and cannot do from a land use perspective. There's a lot of land that has to be set aside. So what the master plan communities do out here is they leave huge areas, like you can see behind me. They leave huge areas untouched and native and natural, well, as close to native and natural as you can. But where I am right now, this is Calaterra, and this is Onion Creek that runs through, and Onion Creek runs through a couple of different master plan communities out here, Arrowhead and here in Calaterra. And it's also going to end up running through Driftwood, or right next to Driftwood as well, which is a really, really high-end master plan community out in Driftwood. But the master plan communities out here have features like this. There's hike and bike trails in all of them. If you want to be in nature, but you still want a suburban lifestyle, again, suburban, I'm saying, kind of your more lot and block type house situation where you don't have a big piece of property. It's just like a normal city lot. The master plan communities out here are going to be a really good option. Now, off the top of my head, Belterra, Headwaters, Calaterra, Founders Ridge, Arrowhead, those are the ones off the top of my head. You have Big Sky, and you also have Heritage and a few other ones that are coming soon. Those are your options for master plan communities. And for the most part, they have insane amenities like this. They have tons of hike and bike trails. You can actually find a lot of information on my YouTube channel about most of those master plan communities. I've got a lot of videos on those things if you want to dig into it and see what it's all about. But by and large, the master plan communities out here are going to give you access to things that most master plan communities don't, such as, and I'm going to walk down here by the water again, because behind the water on this side, you just see acres and acres and acres of open area. Stuff that you can use, things you can take your dogs. If you can see behind me, you can take your dog out there, you can play frisbee, you can run around. Here in Calaterra, obviously you've got fishing, you've got kayaking. They even have kayaks and fishing rods that you can rent from the HOA if you don't have access to your own. So master plan communities are just a little bit different out here. They are about getting out, being out, and actually getting to know your neighbors. One of the other things that's really cool about all these master plan communities, and this isn't necessarily unique for Dripping Springs, but all of the community events that they have, and the chances for kids to get out and meet other kids in the neighborhood, or for you to meet other parents, or just other singles in the neighborhood. There's a lot of community events that happen in the master plan communities out here. So there you go for the number 8 reason you might want to consider Dripping Springs, and that is because of these awesome master plan communities. Guys, a reminder, if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, if you don't really know where you're going to live in Central Texas yet and Dripping Springs is an option, subscribe to this channel, because I've got a lot of other content just like this in other communities: Bastrop, Blanco, Kyle, Buda, Georgetown, Taylor, all over the Central Texas area. There's a lot of information here that will help you make a really good choice. So for right now, let's move ahead. Let's go take a look at what number 9 in my list of 10 reasons you might want to consider Dripping Springs is. All right, getting close to the end, but number 9 in the reasons that you might want to consider making Dripping Springs your home. I'm here at a brand new, it's an office complex. There's really nice offices that are built here, a little modern looking. You might be able to see Fuse workspace behind me. But the number 9 reason that you might want to consider is the economic opportunity that's happening in Dripping Springs right now. I mean, a lot of people are moving here and kind of stopping at Belterra, which is just over here to my east, because they're having to commute into Austin for jobs, you know, in the tech sector and things like that. But in Dripping Springs, when you have an area that's growing as fast as Dripping Springs is, the economic opportunities just absolutely explode. And if you drive down any of the main roads here, whether it's 290 heading into Dripping Springs, Ranch Road 12 going north-south, Fitzhugh, Hamilton Pool, you're going to see a ton of office space, warehouse space, different types of just things that are available for rent for businesses. And the reason is because there is a huge boom that's happening out here right now. And again, in Austin, that's kind of the people that are the 9 to 5 kind of typical workers. Out here in Dripping Springs, you don't have that. You don't have your big employers. You don't have, you know, Apple and Google and you know, Oracle and things like that. But what you do have, one, you have a lot of mom and pop workers. If you're or mom and pop businesses, I should say, if you're considering opening your own business, you know, I don't know, whether it's a coffee shop or a restaurant or any other type of mom and pop type boutique business type thing, you might want to consider Dripping Springs. There's a ton of rooftops that have popped up here in the last 3 or 4 years, and those numbers are continuing to grow. We've got 2 more master plan communities that are scheduled to break ground here in the next year or so. One of those is over 2,000 homes. The other one is about 600 homes. So you're looking at close to 3,000 additional rooftops just in those 2 spots. There is a lot of need for different types of businesses out here right now. And if you're in a sector that provides a service, air conditioning, plumbing, electric, roofing, contracting, you know, construction, stuff like that, those people are going to be in high demand out here for the foreseeable future as fast as we're growing and as fast as rooftops are getting put in out here. I mean, guys, in order to find a handyman out here right now, $50 an hour, and that's somebody who will actually return a call. And they don't have all the expertise in the world, but they do good work and they'll return a call. $50 an hour for a handyman. It's close to $50 an hour for somebody who will clean an office or a house once a week. So even if you don't have a reason to move out here and you've thought about opening your own business, it may be beneficial for you to move out here because Dripping Springs is absolutely exploding from an economic opportunity standpoint. So number 9, you might want to consider moving to Dripping Springs if you're looking for economic opportunity. All right, we're going to wrap up with the next one. Number 10, let's go see what it is. All right, wrapping up this video. Actually, you know what? Before I wrap up this video, I'm gonna make one last call to you guys. If this is the kind of content that you're looking for, subscribe to this channel. This is what I do. Try to make your move to the Central Texas area, whether it's Austin, Dripping Springs, Bastrop, Georgetown, any of the areas around here. I try to make those as smooth as possible. Number 10, the number 10 reason that I think moving to Dripping Springs is a great idea is community activities and community festivals. I mentioned earlier that we've got all of these master plan communities out here, really nice master plan communities out here. Right now, I am in Belterra at the community center. This is the site of Belterra's Third Thursdays. Third Thursday for Belterra is a large community event. They have music out here. They've got food trucks. You know, the community just comes out to hang out here in Belterra. Headwaters has a ton of events. Belterra's got more events than that. All these master plan communities, they have event coordinators. So again, Belterra, Headwaters, Calaterra, Arrowhead, there's a ton of events and community things to do in those communities, but that's not even the big ones, okay? Talk about large community events. Founders Day is the Dripping Springs Festival. Think of like the old school, you know, Main Street 4th of July Festival. That's what Founders Day is for Dripping Springs. It obviously celebrates the founding of Dripping Springs, and it absolutely gets mad with all the people down there. It's a lot of fun. It's a huge event, and it goes 3 days. So you've got Founders Day, you've got Singer-Songwriter Festival, which Singer-song, it's free to anybody that wants to come. They've got acts from around the world that submit music to be chosen to play at the Singer-Songwriter Festival in Dripping Springs. It is a freaking amazing time, and you see insane music. So those are just a couple of the really big community events, but then you also have smaller events all throughout the time. You've got songwriter showcases at Hudson on Mercer. You've got all types of different events that are coming to Dripping Springs Ranch Park. Concerts, fundraisers, things like that. So if you're looking for a community to be a part of and have, again, a little bit of that old school small town feel, like we talked about, one of the reasons you would move to Dripping Springs, and you want something to be a part of to get you out in the community, to meet people, to meet other community members, business owners, and things like that. This last reason, number 10, is one of the most important ones to me, and that's the community events that you're going to find here. All right, guys, again, that's it. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you think these are stupid reasons to move to Dripping Springs, let me know. If you think they're amazing reasons to move to Dripping Springs, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see any more content like this on other communities, tell me what communities you want me to visit, because I know this entire area like the back of my hand. That's the reason I do these, and I'm more than happy to do that for you. So just let me know what you need from me as your creator here on YouTube, and we'll see you on the next video.